Most of us remember Hall of Fame honoree Jack Payne for his 17 years at WOW and WWTV, or his 22 years at KFAB. That would be career enough for most people, but Jack's numbers are more impressive. During his 46-year career, Jack Payne worked for 6 radio stations, 3 in Nebraska and 3 in Oklahoma, and 1 TV station, WOWTV as it was called then. Yes, you would look surprised too at those numbers. Jack's earliest broadcast career began in Oklahoma, where he was born in the small community of Omaha, January 27, 1923. His heritage includes, in Jack's words, a touch of Cherokee and Choctaw, which probably explains those dark good looks which he retains today. Love of sports was in his blood from the beginning. Here's Bat Boy Jack at age 10. Payne began football broadcasts for WNAD and KTOK while a student at the University of Oklahoma. Later, he broadcast Sooner games for KNOR in Norman, a station he helped put on the air. Jack broadcast the Sooner Husker game for KNOR in 1950, a game which Oklahoma won 49-35. But Payne recalls Nebraska's Bobby Reynolds as putting on one of the greatest individual displays of football ability I have ever seen.
The thing that impressed me was how any one individual at that time, since I was broadcasting for the University of Oklahoma, could be any better than Billy Vessels. As Bud Wilkinson would have his weekly news conferences and would say that Bobby Reynolds was a real great football player.
Like many other young men of the time, Jack's education had been interrupted by military service. But if it had not been for that, U.S. Air Force Corporal Jack Payne might not have met Corporal Connie Griffiths of the Royal Canadian Air Force. It happened at second base as Corporal Payne fielded a catcher's peg and cut off Corporal Griffiths' attempt to steal second. Technically, they met earlier on a blind date, but Jack said, "I got to know her better at second base." Jack and Connie were married November 9, 1945, and are the parents of 2 daughters and 6 grandchildren. They will observe their 50th wedding anniversary later this year. In March of 1951, Jack Payne came to Omaha as sports director of WOW Radio and the fledgling WOWTV. Payne replaced the late Tip Sago. He said, "I was lucky to have a man like Merrill Workhoven to help me." Later, Jack and NBA Hall of Famer Merrill Workhoven became a team on WOW Radio football broadcasts, as well as lifelong close friends. And when Merrill died recently, Jack was among those offering a eulogy at his memorial service. Arriving in Omaha less than 2 years after local television's inaugural broadcasts, Payne was among those who, in effect, invented TV news. The list of firsts attributed to Jack Payne is too long to include here, but a few deserve mention. He is credited with the first live coverage of an Omaha high school football game, the first live radio TV simulcast of a University of Omaha football game, the first live studio TV program featuring AAA baseball talent. Omaha was a Cardinal farm team at the time, and Jack called the program Cardinal Chatter. Not to be confused, someone said, with a meeting at the Vatican. Jack does have a sense of humor. Ask anyone who worked with him. If something struck Jack as funny, he was destroyed for the rest of the newscast. Look at this tribute to Jack by Dave Weber on the occasion of Payne's retirement. Notice the sense of humor coming through early in the piece.
Thank you very much, Doug Thomas.
Recognize this face? Jack Payne, a fixture on the Omaha sports scene since 1951. For 17 years, Sportscaster here at Channel 6, during an era of local television gone but not forgotten.
But I developed this type of a personality approach, and I thought maybe I might get along with it like this, see? But sometimes the alliteration that comes out, you can't deliver a script when you're talking like this. But you could do what you wanted to do, and who was going to critique you? Based on what? But then we got to be more sophisticated. See, and along came more equipment and presentations and formats.
For many years, Jack Payne was the voice of the Creighton Blue Jays. A colorful era on the hilltop with Coach Red McManus and players like Paul Silas. A road trip to Arizona State provided one of his memorable moments.
I almost got into it with a fan at Arizona State. He would raise up in his seat and turn around and yell right in the microphone, you know, "Go Sun Devils, go Sun Devils." And Sun Devils were going, and Creighton wasn't moving very well, and I was a little teed off, you know, at the way the situation was going on the floor. And I am sitting up there with my pencil, you know. I did everything myself, keep them on stats and everything. So I dropped the pencil and shot out my right arm. I don't know what made me do it, but back the kid fell back in the stands. I never hit him, never touched him. Back he fell in the stands, flopping back down in there. And I'm looking out through here, you know, and still going to town with what's happening on the floor. And I've got an eye down here where the kid is. And this lady stands up and leans right up into my face and says, "I'm glad you did that. He deserved it." I felt vindicated.
Payne is a fixture on Nebraska football broadcasts. He recalls the time at the University of Hawaii when a stranger invaded the radio booth through the trap door.
I'll never forget. I was listening to the game, and I heard that door, or whatever it was, and I heard you say to Bremser,
"Fritz?"
Fritz reporting from a torpedo room.
Yes, it was the infamous moment.
Payne says his most memorable sports figure is Lyle Bremser, but I'm sure there are many who feel that way about Jack Payne.
Says my time is up. Thank you for yours for the past 17 years. Good night.
Jack once threatened to go on the set wearing Mickey Mouse ears. He was doing the whole show in those days. One sponsor bought the entire early evening newscast at that time, and Phillips 66 would not accept chief newscaster Ray Clark, whose longtime 10 p.m. sponsor was Standard Oil. So Jack was assigned to handle the entire newscast. He did fine, but the competition was the Mickey Mouse Club, and the kids controlled the TV set at that hour. We could spend the rest of the evening reciting the honors and awards which Jack Payne has received. For example, he was named Nebraska State Sportscaster of the Year in 1965 and again in 1967. A comment by World Herald sports editor Wally Provost at the time reveals the widespread respect and affection for Jack Payne. Wally Provost wrote that a news story saying Jack had been selected twice for the honor by fellow sportscasters was misleading. Provost wrote that sports writers also took part in the voting. And he said, "I would like it known that our pencil-pushing fraternity holds Gentleman Jack in just as high esteem as the Mike men." Provost added that Jack Paynes are in mighty short supply. Many others have agreed over the years. Just this past May, they planted a tree in Jack's honor at Omaha Burke High. Metro High School Association honored Payne for his many years covering the state track meet and serving as track announcer. The Omaha Advertising Federation gave him its Silver Medal Award in 1990. The Omaha Press